Shalom. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim, pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty, the whole full elect. Shalom. My name is Kwara Allah. The title of this lesson is going to be, as we continue to hasten the days, right? We are in the year of the hopeful year that all the prophecies come to pass. That's us hastening the days, and that's the spirit that we should be in, because when you go into the scriptures, which I'll get it, but you had the disciples, and what did they do? They hasted in those days, all right? The prophets, okay? The men of the Lord, the righteous men, what they would do, they would haste in the days. And we continue to hasten the days, right? And with that, I'll get these scriptures, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So 2 Peter 3:11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So let's go to conversation. Turn up the volume a little bit.
Strong's G 391. Anastrophe. Anastrophe.
Okay. Autostrophe, Strong's G91, autostrophe. We go straight to what they have here. And it says, manner of life, conduct, behavior, deportment. All right? So how you conduct yourself and your behavior. So it says, seeing then, all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be? Because the things that are going to be dissolved are these temporal things. This kingdom, this rulership, this state, America is going to be dissolved by way of nuclear fire. And that's why we see this whole war breaking out that's ultimately going to end by the way of fire. What manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? How you carry yourselves, what do you talk about, your actions, such as following the Lord's statute commandments to the best of your ability, right? These are the things, the Sabbath, right? These are the things that honoring the Sabbath, that is, honoring the high holy days. These are the things that the elect, the 144,000, along with the rest of 1/3, men, women, child, all right, boy, girl, baby, whatever, man, friends. If you part of the elect, you're part of the 1/3, family, the prophets, and whatnot, helpers. If you part of that elect number, you're gonna observe yourself and the way you carry yourself, then you're gonna carry yourself accordingly. For 2 Peter 3:12, looking for and hasting until the coming of the day of the Most High. We're in the heaven, right? The coming of the day of the Most High, right? Or let's go real quick to tools and see what it says there for God. All right.
Strong's G 2316. Theos. Theos.
All right. A god or goddess, a general name of deities or divinities. All right. God's representative or vicegerent of magistrates or judges, right? Because the Most High, which it's not in all caps, so it's not talking about the Most High, right? So the word you would say here is the day of the Most High, the day of the Lord, or the day of power, the day of your power. Ultimately, it's talking about Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, all right? Because it says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, all right? And what's that day ultimately consisting of? The time of Jacob's trouble, the time of the implementation of the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the you-know-what, and ultimately the Most High returning, giving Yahweh Shai the green light to return to conquer the world. It says, "Burn the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Right, and that's going to happen, like I mentioned earlier, by way of nuclear fire, and also by way of those chariots that you call UFOs. Those are the chariots of the Heavenly Father, and this place is going out by way of fire. All right, so because I mentioned earlier what manner of person he ought to be, I'm gonna jump straight down to the point. This is Isaiah 58:13. Let's start at 12. It says, "And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in." And how is that breach being repaired now? Through the men out there sighing and crying on the highways and byways, through these lessons being developed through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, repairing the old ways, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding the scriptures, the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Because these laws aren't done away with. No, we keep them to the best of our ability. It says, "If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing the pleasures of my holy day." So let's read that in NLT. It says, "Keep the Sabbath day holy. Don't pursue your own interests on that day, but enjoy the Sabbath and speak of it with delight as the Lord's holy day. Honor the Sabbath in everything you do on that day, and don't follow your own desires or talk idly." Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in. All right. So now let's go back to the KJV. Isaiah 58:13. "If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words." Let's go down to Lord, it's just in all caps there. Now it says Yahweh. So it's saying the existing one, which Yah is he, and Yahweh is exist, or he is. All right, so Yahweh is saying he is, or he exists. Let's close that. Isaiah 58:14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. So now we're coming back to our nationality, we're coming back to our heritage. And first, what we have to do, we have to acknowledge the ways of the Lord. You know, ultimately, we have to have the faith, you know, have faith. So the Spirit have to be working with us, which the way the Spirit is working with you is because you already ordained, and because what the Lord is supping with you, you know, through the Spirit. Revelations 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock, which the door is speaking about your mind. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me. All right. And that's the Lord giving you this knowledge, wisdom and understanding, opening your mind, opening your ears spiritually. All right. So the title of this lesson was is going to be Haste in the Days, or we continue to haste in the days. Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? See, the same way Peter had forsaken everything, so have the other disciples, which became apostles, and the other prophets, right? The same way we're doing it today, starting with our apostles and elders, we're millstone. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So that's to say, the reward for following Yahushua is to reign with Yahushua, right? And the regeneration, let's listen up.
Strong's G 3824. Polygenesia. Polygenesia.
Okay. Let's go straight to the definitions they have here. It says new birth, reproduction, renewal, recreation, regeneration. What's that talking about? Reincarnation. Okay, in the reincarnation, you see, now let's go back. They don't want to tell you about reincarnation, but reincarnation exists. It says, and Yahshua said unto them, Verily I say unto you. And who asked this question? Peter. All right. So Peter died, but Peter was reincarnated. All right. Peter is back here again, even till this day, along with all these other disciples. All right. Scriptures say, well, there's nothing new under the sun. Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, right? So in the regeneration, basically in these times, because now we're living in the time that Yahushua is going to revisit the world. And when he revisits this world, he's going to deliver his elect. And guess what? Peter is going to be amongst that elect. All right. And not only is Peter and the apostles and the prophets going to be among that elect, but also the people that wronged Yahushua is going to be in the midst when Yahushua returns. And Yahushua is going to put a lot of people to death. I mean, a lot of Israelites also, a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because you disobeyed the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, he also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is where the mindset of the elect is going to be at today. Okay. Luke 19:11, straight to the point. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of the Most High should immediately appear. Right? So the men were looking for Israel to appear. You know, and we are too now. We hasten in the days. You know, when you first come into this thing, you kind of just give up on the world around you, and you just look forward to the kingdom. You know, you even think that the kingdom is coming tomorrow. All right, this is what Judges 5:11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place of drawing waters, it says, drawing waters, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his village, of his villages in Israel. All right. So it says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers, those nuclear missiles. Ultimately, that's what it's talking about. Those nukes being shot off in the place of drawing water in our captivity, which is mainly America. America's going to be destroyed by via fire, by nuclear missiles. And how's the elect going to be delivered? By way of chariots. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. Right? That's what we're doing now. You know, through the Spirit, even putting out these lessons. Okay? Scripture says the whole duty of man, fear the Lord and obey his commandments. The Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right? Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the villages of Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Okay, so this is a thing for Israel, no other nation. All right. This is Matthew 24:3. It says, and let me zoom in a little bit. Salakia. Matthew 24:3. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Right? So the prophets are looking for the end of the world, the signs that are coming, you know, and we're coming in that same spirit. All right, mainly GMS. Okay, under the teachings of our apostles, elders, and bishops, all through the Spirit, you know, becoming in the same spirit as the men we're reading about. All right, because they wanted to get out of here, and they laid down their lives to prove themselves worthy, you know, and this is what we're doing till this day. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said to them, take heed that no man deceive you. See, today, a lot of our people are being deceived. All right? It's a lot of Israelites that are not of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay? For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And not just actually coming in that name, but you have some people that call themselves Yahweh Shai or call themselves the Anointed. But you also have people that say they teach Yahweh Shai, and they actually don't. Right? And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that he be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And when you hear about these wars, rumors of wars, it could get alarming because it's real. Although we're looking for these things to happen, it's still real. You know, there's still gonna be war. Bombs are gonna be flying. There's gonna be drafts, and you know we have to keep the faith strong because we don't know who we are. But we will know when we're being beamed up. All right. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So if your mind is not right now, if your mind's not focused on the coming of the Lord, hastening to come to the Lord, all right, hoping that this is the last year. You know, every year we hope it's the last year that we out of here, and that's the mindset you're supposed to be in. Okay. Let's see what I have here. Let me zoom in. Jeremiah 30:4. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel, concerning Judah. Right? Israel representing the northern kingdom, and Judah representing the southern kingdom. For thus saith the Lord, or Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Right? Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces as turned into paleness. Right? A man's hands on his loins because of the agony. We just read about the famines and the pestilence. As a woman in travail, so the men are gonna be like women in those days, right? All those tough guys, all those, you know, you have guys that put their faith in their weapons, their physical abilities, right? And all faces are turned into paleness. So people are gonna be so scared they're gonna turn pale. The last for that day is great, so that none is like it. Even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So the time of Jacob's trouble is going to be even worse than 70 AD. All right, when Jerusalem was laid sieged by the Roman Empire, because now Jacob and Israel is going to be laid siege together. You know, and ultimately, what's going to make that day so different? The technology is one, but ultimately those thermonuclear missiles, all right, this place is going to be destroyed by fire, and it's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, I will break his yoke from thy neck, I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him who was in slavery, Israel, who were strangers, these heathen nations, mainly Esau, but they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king. Right? We're going to serve the Lord, Yahweh, the Most High, and the Son of Yahweh Shai, and David their king. Right? Because David is going to be there also in the regeneration, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and that right from afar. And the Lord's going to save us by way of chariots. And we're going to be scattered throughout the four corners of the world. It don't matter where we at. The Lord's going to come with those chariots and those angels, and we're going to be beamed up out of this upcoming destruction. You know? So although the missiles is going to hit America, you still want to have volcanoes erupting, tsunamis, earthquakes, right? Because the scriptures say what the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. And thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob, it don't say Esau, all right? It don't say Ishmael. And Jacob represent the 12 tribes of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone, and salutations that I can push this word in all sincerity and honesty. Shalom.